Good morning, Torcon Nation. This is Subby with Torcon Weather Team bringing you an update on the potential of seeing a multi-day severe weather outbreak for the Midwest and the central part of the United States. But first, we've got a beautiful sunrise this morning here in west central Missouri. Just a layer of high cirrus clouds that are moving in out ahead of this multi day system that will be affecting us here in the central part of the United States. So let's just jump right into this. As you guys can see here, we have the Storm Prediction Center already today has a moderate risk. That's a level 4 out of 5 for central Kansas, with the enhanced risk surrounding that will extend down into parts of northwestern Oklahoma, and then a slight risk that will go all the way up here and touch parts of North Dakota. So a very large area of a severe weather threat for today. Now, the tornado threat is going to be mainly centered into central Kansas, into northwestern Oklahoma, with a 5% tornado risk, with a 2% lesser chance surrounding that. That will go all the way up into southern Iowa and northwest Missouri. The hail threat for today does have a significant hatch area here in central Kansas and northwest Oklahoma. So that's going to be a big threat for today. It's going to be the potential of large hail, and probably the greatest severe threat for today is going to be the potential to see some strong, damaging straight line winds, as we have a large 60% to hatch significant threat for pretty much 2/3 of the state of Kansas and parts of northwestern and central Oklahoma. But it's not going to stop with today, as tomorrow we have a slight risk extending from northwest Missouri all the way in parts of southwest Iowa, southeast Nebraska, and north central Kansas. The tornado threat so far tomorrow is relatively low, about a 2% tornado risk all the way from Colorado to Michigan. So a very broad area of a 2% risk for tornadoes tomorrow. I do think that the SPC will introduce a 10% or maybe even a 5% risk somewhere in this area, but they're still trying to fine tune exactly where that low pressure system is going to be coming across over the next 2 or 3 days, and we'll talk about that here in just a moment. The hail threat also a slight risk, as well as a wind threat over the same area here in the slight risk as well. And then of course we go into day 3. We have about the same area kind of under the gun here, northwest Missouri, the northern section of Kansas, and the southeast Nebraska and southwest Iowa. And then, of course, we go to day 4, and along that front from central Texas all the way up into the Ohio Valley is right now under a slight risk to see some severe storms on day 4. So we are going to be watching this very closely here over the next few days here at Torcon. And this is why it's so important for you guys to follow our social media platforms like Facebook, like TikTok, where we have our social media team giving updates daily. We're posting all of the latest up to the minute warnings coast to coast. So we're going to be keeping a very close eye on this over the next few days. Let's take a look here real quick at one of the reasons why they're kind of having a hard time of deciphering where the greatest severe risk is going to be, and it will move over the next couple of days from the Storm Prediction Center, kind of depending on where that low sets up. So here we're looking at the 500 millibar chart. Remember, that's 18,000 feet above our heads. This is going to show us where the strongest winds aloft are and where these storm systems are going to be following. This gives us a great idea of who and what these storms will do. And as you can see, we got a low pressure system that is up here. Now, this is going to be a negatively tilted trough. Remember what we talked about last week. The negative tilted trough are going to be running from northwest to southeast. And this is where you have the strongest ingredients of that low. The strongest winds are going to be out ahead of this low. That's going to be meeting up with the stronger dew points, better instability, and that's typically where you find strong, severe thunderstorms. So right now, this is 18Z, so this is around 3-4 o'clock on Tuesday, and you notice where the low pressure system is and where that trough is. It's going to be running negatively tilted right through here. So right around the 3-4 o'clock time frame, we can expect the stronger storms to be pretty much focused right in this area right here. Now, models have had some disagreement over where this low pressure system is going to be. If it's a little bit further to the south, then we're going to be looking at areas, possibly in this area with the strongest potential to see some severe storms. But the trends that I am seeing is showing the strongest forcing really right in this area right here. Maybe encompassing a little bit more of northeast Missouri and Illinois. So, run to run on this model, on 2 or 3 different models, is showing a little bit different areas. So I think the Storm Prediction Center is just waiting to see a general consensus, let these models come into an agreement, and then start issuing some bigger threat assessments for the Midwest over the next 24 hours or so. Now this particular model, let me jump over here real quick. Now this one here is showing, this is the icon model. This is actually showing the same time frame, 3-4 o'clock. Now take a look at where that trough is located. It's centered negatively tilted right through here. So now we moved it to the west just a little bit. Now the greatest forcing is likely going to be setting up in this area. See how much further to the southwest that circle is now. So that is one of the reasons why this is a very tough system to forecast exactly who is going to receive that greatest threat of severe storms, and we will likely see the Storm Prediction Center probability risk assessments actually move quite a bit over the next 24 hours as they update. So moisture is not going to be a problem with this storm, the storm system, as we are looking at, for the same time period, from 3, 4, 5 o'clock on Tuesday, we're going to have a plume of dew points into the low 70s, stretch from Texas all the way up here into parts of Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma. So moisture is not going to be a problem out ahead of this storm system. So we have a lot of ingredients there for severe storms here in the Midwest and in the Great Plains. So it is definitely something that we need to be keeping a close eye on. And again, as I mentioned before, follow all of our Tourcon social media platforms so that you can stay informed, because that is one of the key reasons why we do what we do here at Tourcon Weather Team, and that is to keep you informed and keep you protected from coast to coast. Hopefully everybody has a fantastic rest of the day this Sunday morning, and follow us and keep up to date, stay weather aware, and we'll be talking to you soon.